Story 1. That only because I own a calendar and color-coded sticky notes, I have my life together. They have no idea that this is just a front to cover up my disorganized and lazy habits. Story 2. As a childless woman in her 30s, people assume that I don't like kids because I don't have any. I struggle with infertility issues and have dedicated my career to working with young children. I would love to have children of my own. Story 3. I think people assume I'm a lesbian. I've never married, never had children, and I'm not a girly girl at all. Nobody asks about my dating life or tries to fix me up. Maybe I'd have a better love life if I were, but I can't help it. I like men. Story 4. People have assumed I have an attitude and look at them dirty. In reality, I'm actually just a shy, socially awkward weirdo with resting face syndrome, and I have mild astigmatism, so I squint ever so slightly without my glasses. Not entirely seeing you also makes me more distant and awkward. I noticed people looked at me funny, like, "Girl, what are you looking at?" when walking towards each other. I don't wear my glasses while walking, for example. I'm pretty sure I was just adjusting the squint in my eyes to see them more clearly. Story 5. That I am stuck up or rude. In reality, I just have immense social anxiety, and sometimes I just do not know what the appropriate conversation type is in different settings. Story 6. That I'm a lesbian because I dress more masculine. I just dress more comfortably, and the lesbian one is my sister, who, by the way, is the most feminine woman you can find. Story 7. Because I am a small, cute, youngish woman, they assume I am good with little kids. They assume this to an even greater degree when they learn I am a teacher. I am not good at interacting with little children, and I cannot handle them in large numbers. I would rather dig ditches than teach kindergarten. I hate all the crying, tattling, bodily fluids, and little kids often come with very overprotective parents. Give me a class of sassy teenagers any day. Story 8. People assume I was the cheerleader in high school. It was far from that. I was that kid reading and drawing in the corner of the classroom and only socializing with my 3 solid friends. Story 9. A lot of people assume I am really outgoing, but I am actually quite introverted. Others might see me being crazy, but I really only show this side of mine to my comfort people. Story 10. That the look of quiet concern on my face is about their idiotic drama, about which I give absolutely zero concern. My actual concern is how I got myself into one of those conversations yet again. Story 11. My father was from Tunisia, my mother was Swedish. I look almost nothing like my mother and more like my father's side of the family. People assume I'm a Muslim because of how I look. I'm not. I'm an atheist. Story 12. I've had people shun me because they didn't know what I was thinking about them, as I don't participate in gossip. I wasn't thinking about you at all, but now you've given me a reason to. Story 13. That I'm going to be overly nice, patient, or understanding because I do a lot of volunteer work and work in the nonprofit world. I'm not nice or friendly. Story 14. There is a position at work that is a promotion. I keep declining it, and people think there is something wrong with me, or that I am scared, so they keep trying to promote it by saying how good I will be for it. I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and it does not appeal to me, but I just tell them I am not interested. Story 15. I seem to be ignored and paid less attention to in real life, so they assume maybe I'm slow mentally or unwilling to interact. I'm neither. I just don't waste words or interrupt, and I don't tend to be loud. Story 16. That I am a very positive and upbeat person and always totally fine. No, I have chronic clinical depression and have been on selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors for over a decade. My friendliness and external-facing positivity do not match the inside, which can be a mess. Story 17. That is because I haven't worked in about 8 years, and I have no work experience and no occupational prospects whatsoever. I feel judged by distant family members for it, but people closer to me know that I yearn for employment and an income that I work for, and that the absence of that has weighed heavily on me for years. They also know that I was assaulted countless times in the workforce and that the subsequent post-traumatic stress disorder is the only thing keeping me from those goals of mine. I actually submitted my first job application in a long while today, and I'm looking forward to giving it my best if I get a chance. Story 18. I am calm, positive, and have a ton of energy according to all my coworkers and employees. In reality, I am anxious and insecure. I am constantly tired, and I have a stream of negativity going through my mind that I just force myself to ignore. Story 19. That I am good at chess. I'm often perceived as pretty intelligent, so people think I would enjoy the classic game of strategy for smart people. I am terrible at chess and do not particularly enjoy it. Story 20. That I sacrifice animals, I love animals, and it genuinely hurts my feelings. I don't get it because I wear only black, I just have an intense resting face. Story 21. One of my coworkers told me that everyone at the job, including her, thought I was stuck up. After working with them for a while, they realized I was just shy and horrible at initiating conversations. Story 22. That I'm just naturally very happy with no effort required. But I spent years learning and putting into practice everything I could about processing trauma, healing it, and how to handle new negative feelings when they arise. I was not always an emotionally intelligent person, not by a long shot. My happiness is the result of a sustained effort to be happy. And perhaps counterintuitively, a big part of that effort is allowing myself to fully feel the negative emotions when they arise, rather than trying to avoid them. Story 23. Oh, I've got this. Someone once started a rumor about me that I really like period sex. Like really like it. They went so far as to tell people that I froze my period blood so that I could have period sex when I wasn't on my period. I made Chipino for a bunch of friends, and afterward, weeks later, it came back to me that they thought maybe I had slipped one of my period blood ice cubes into the tomato base for more umami. Story 24. That I keep quiet. I can talk to you all day if you talk to me first, especially if it's about something I'm interested in. Simply put, I'm shy and introverted. I can't strike up a discussion. Story 25. That I'm stupid. I'm a large, admittedly clumsy bloke with a miserable-looking face and a skinhead. I look like the stereotypical generic dumb henchman. I don't look intelligent, apparently. I tend to find that if I make a mistake, no matter how small, people take great glee in telling me how I messed up. It came to a bit of a head once in my old job when we were talking about our education. I said I was about to finish my degree, and the manager, who didn't like me, went, "You're at university and about to get a degree?" I said, "Yeah." And he went, "You." So I said, "Yeah," again. And he just said, "No, you aren't." Story 26. I have a really bad case of resting bitch face, and people tell me at first glance I always look angry and aggressive. I'm over 6 feet tall and built like a brick house, which doesn't help my case at all. In reality, I'm a really social, friendly guy and just love meeting people and chatting about random things all day. People who know me have told me it's jarring how different my outward appearance is at first glance from how I actually carry myself around people. Story 27. That I'm super sweet and innocent. I'm a relatively nice person, but I'm also almost 35 and have had my fair share of experiences and mistakes. I have sort of a baby face, though, which I think colors people's first impressions of me. Story 28. My political beliefs. I am a Republican, but any time that gets mentioned, I receive a 30-minute spiel about how I am a literal Nazi Trump supporter, when I do not even support Trump in the first place. Story 29. I'm a big burly farmer with a beard and drive a Dodge Ram. People think I'm a conservative. I also own a large number of guns and hunt. I usually have my strong 120-pound German Shepherd with me that might lick you to death. Story 30. That I have a lot of friends. I have about 5 friends, and the nearest one lives 200 miles away. The people I am seen chatting with around the neighborhood are just superficial at best. We've probably never hung out. I'm just good at remembering names and details about people. Story 31. Many people may assume that I am always confident about everything, but in fact, I also have my doubts and questions. It's normal to be unsure sometimes. Story 32. That women don't understand the internal workings of appliances, cars, or any other technology. It's irritating when you go to, let's say, a service center, and they treat you like you don't know anything. Story 33. That I'm a gamer. In fairness, I am into a lot of nerdy things, so I can see how they make that leap. But no, I have never and will never be interested. Story 34. That I'm happy because I smile. I'm manic depressed and almost always feeling wicked down on myself. Mania is pretty well controlled by medications now, so I rarely feel good. I smile when I feel frustrated too. I don't know why. Story 35. People think I spend all my time studying and that it's my whole personality because I get good grades. I have hobbies and a life outside of studying. I just get good grades because I concentrate in class and make sure there's nothing I didn't understand. Story 36. I am of small stature, skinny, and often told I look younger than I am. I have a speech impediment due to lifelong hearing loss. People think I'm innocent and uneducated because of my size and the sound of my voice. Story 37. People assume I am a lot more innocent than I am and have everything together because I am quiet, do not drink, and have a respectable career. In reality, I can be impulsive and irresponsible. I am sober because I am a former alcoholic and have a complex mental health history. I am also currently unemployed, and the idea of having to work again makes me feel overwhelmed. Story 38. People think that because I dress like an elderly school teacher, I must be very strict. In reality, I have a very dirty mouth and the sense of humor of a 13-year-old boy. It's fun to see their reaction when I let loose a tirade of words that are 99% not safe for work. Story 39. That I am a stuck-up snob who thinks I am better than everyone. I have been told this since I was in middle school up until adulthood. Actually, the opposite is true. I am conventionally attractive and very shy. I had a difficult upbringing and no self-esteem. I now have self-esteem, but I am still quiet and keep my opinions to myself. I am at an age where I don't care what people think of me, but it was very hurtful when I was younger. Story 40. That I'm a Trump supporter because I'm a middle-class white guy in the most conservative suburb in Louisiana. I don't bother to correct them. It amuses me how clueless they are. Story 41. That I am gullible, stupid, and always nice. A couple of months ago, a lady assumed I didn't know how to use Google. She spoke to me in baby talk as she pointed out how to use Google in a cafe. I tried to tell her I already knew, but she kept interrupting me. That night, I searched for juicy information about her on the internet, made a timeline of it all, then accessed her Facebook account and posted the timeline. She still hasn't changed her Facebook password. Story 42. That I am not as well-read or knowledgeable as they are because most people, especially post-pandemic, seem to be telling me how it really is. They seem to think that the nonsense they hear online is the gospel truth and want me to agree with them. I guess I listen too much or have a naive face. Story 43. I'm almost 42, and for the past couple of decades, people always say I look 10 years younger. I have some gray mixed into my hair now, and people are surprised at that when they see me up close. Story 44. I am 6 feet 8 inches tall. Do people assume that I either used to or still do play basketball? I'm in my mid-50s and sometimes walk with a cane, but they still ask if I play. Also, they assume that I am fine with constantly being told that I'm tall, being asked how tall I am, or what's the weather like up there. Okay, I'm not particularly bothered, but if I were 3 feet 10 inches, they wouldn't dare ask, or tell me that I'm overweight if I were 25 stone. So why is it okay to ask me? Story 45. That's because I'm immaculate and pristine, not a hair out of place, and because I make a lot of effort to look good, I must be confident, even narcissistic. This is all a front. I have crippling low self-esteem. I detest the way I look. So much so, I won't leave the house until I meet a certain standard. Story 46. I have been told by gay and straight individuals that I act straight. Most people assume I am straight because I do not act like the exaggerated portrayals of gay people you see on television. Story 47. They think I always do things more than the normal way. They don't know I'm just trying to be like that, so I won't be targeted as weak and become a laughingstock. Story 48. I'm an idiot and easy to take advantage of. I know more than I let on, and the idiot facade is just that. Only my true friends know how smart and manipulative I can be. I've personally caused several coworkers to lose their jobs because they felt they could bully me. However, I know how to provide proof and put things in terms that human resources can work with, resulting in swift termination. I know it sounds cruel to say all this, but it's also cruel to bully people, especially when, as a friend, I'm fiercely loyal. I'm a simple person. I just ask them not to be unkind to me. Story 49. People assume I'm mean and conservative because I am a big white dude with a shaved head in the military. From time to time, people will also assume I am some kind of racist. I'm actually down to earth and pretty liberal. Story 50. My dad and fiance both are big metalheads. Everyone that knows this thinks I am too because, of course, a woman can only like what the men in her life like. She can't have any thought of her own. The heaviest bands I listen to are Soundgarden and Rage Against the Machine. Also, I'm short, have a kid voice, and a baby face, so people think they can just walk all over me. I'm polite when I need to be, but if you upset me, you'll hear about it. I've had many coworkers try to push me around, and it doesn't work out for them. I'm all bark and no bite, though. Story 51. That I'm still in school and studying medicine. I'm Indian-born, American-bred, also adopted. I look a bit younger than I am, although the white hairs on my temples are becoming more prevalent and showing age. I am an art teacher, so when strangers ask my plans for the weekend, usually at the bank or grocery store, and I tell them I'm getting things ready for class, they often assume I'm in medical school or something in a similar vein. Sorry, but I went to school for art.